道で見るいつもの新聞いつものテレビどこ行ってもすぐそこに心ハムスルーでどこ行ってもすぐそこに笑顔溢れてくいつだって、yeah、途方に暮れて迷っても君を待つ家の光いつだってラララララ
Hello, welcome back to the GameNight Podcast. As always, my name is Tyler, or Geekish, and today I am joined by my co-host, Danny and Tanner.
Yeah.
Hey.
We will be doing the second episode of the Chris Chan Legacy. So if you haven't watched the first episode, be sure to go back. It was the episode right before this one. And if you have, then we're just going to let Tanner jump right into it, give a little gist of maybe what he talked about last time, and then just jump into what we're going to be talking about today.
Question.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to put this out here that breaking the fourth wall here. Currently, I am sitting on a plane, a few feet above the air, probably 3.5 feet above the air. On my way to Seattle with the boys.
Yeah, we will be on the plane when this comes out.
We will be on the plane.
We'll
when
be
this
like
comes out.
2 hours into our flight.
So I just want to put that out there. If anybody watching this right now, I am on a flight. If I am not around in approximately an hour and a half, something devastating happened, and call my mother. Thank you.
Whoa, wait, what?
Okay.
I'm just taking precautions.
No, I'm just saying, what do you mean if you're not around in an hour and a half after this video comes out? Around
if I'm
where?
not around in an hour and a half.
Around where?
Just around. if we're currently in the air right now when this comes out, right? And we don't land, and they haven't heard anything from me in about an hour and a half.
I mean, like,
somebody
even if
call
we
my
crash, even if we crash, we're gonna land. What do you mean we don't land? We just disappear?
I just need somebody to call my mother.
Okay, Danny.
How are they gonna have your mom's number? Give it out on the podcast.
48.
Okay. Let's get into it. So, last week, if you should watch the podcast episode, like Geek said, if you haven't, a couple of things I wanted to correct. So the teenagers that Chris Chan smoked weed with hold a double purpose. What?
I said I was the teenagers he smoked.
Does he only have one shirt?
That was his classic shirt that he really loved. Chris, those teenagers, they actually bought the porn image that he drew of him and Megan for $1,000.
Good purchase, to be fair.
So
they were definitely selling drugs.
The drawing that he made of himself fisting Megan while giving a thumbs up to the viewer, that was the picture, by the way. The file name of it was called She Came for CWC.jpg. And he literally has his fist in her while giving a thumbs up to the viewer. The teenagers he smoked weed with,
That'd be $25.
they bought that for $1,000.
Cool grand.
And also, I mentioned that Chris and his mom both got in trouble for attempting vehicular manslaughter for trying to run over the owner of the game place, which is the game shop that Chris got kicked out of. I mistold that story. Barb not only hit Chris with her car, Chris hit him with his car. They both tried to run over him in the same day, separately.
Oh. That guy is stressed.
That was a double manslaughter attempt on the same day, the October 28th, 2011, the day that will go down in infamy. And on that...
To be fair, two negatives make a positive, so that makes sense.
And on that day, Chris also took pictures of the guy on his 3DS from inside of his car and uploaded them to the Quickie secretly. Like, he went to that guy's page and uploaded those pictures on him.
That's cool.
That he himself took. Like, isn't that some serial killer shit?
On his 3DS. If it was on anything other than a 3DS, then yeah, maybe. But
if he was fucking taking Polaroids and scanning them in.
Yeah, but it can't really be asked with the 3DS.
Even a phone would be like a little bit better.
Yeah, but a 3DS, bro. What are you gonna do next? Sound record him and make him sound like robots? Your Honor, listen to this footage. Let's assassinate him at dawn.
Hold on, guys. I gotta catch his Mewtwo.
Hey, that's this man's husband.
So, with those things out of the way, let's get into some more Chris Chan legacy content that I kind of did not talk about. So we talked about Chris Chan's love quest and how he desperately wanted to find love. But at one point, there was also, I guess, the side quest of a fuck quest, where he just really wanted to get his dick in something. And he thought that the easy out for this was to become a male prostitute. But he didn't want to use his real name because, that'd be too easy to track. So he created a pseudonym, new identity.
Wait. I mean, he's not even really using his real name now. So he had to change his name twice?
Well, no. This was just
I know he didn't actually change, but he's had to come up with so many names at this point.
His male prostitute name was not Christian Weston Chandler. It was Carlos Chantor.
Carlos Chantor.
And it was this was after his first breakup with Jackie. He tried joining Charlottesville's naughty and nice escort services. And he had a profile on escorts.com. Here was his bio. Experienced for her pleasure. Hey ladies, I'm a cool dude to hang out with, and I can make you feel good emotionally and show you a fun time. I enjoy a lot of things. I'll let you know when it's going too far. Give me a call to hook up. 434 area code only.
Uh-oh. Oh, was that
Sounds
me?
like some lame-ass Tinder bio.
Let's see these specs. Okay, he's got his details. Sex, male, date of birth, 2/24/1982. Straight male, Caucasian, body type, average, height/weight proportional. Now, if anyone looking behind Chris Chan can see, now look, this may be a little bit hypocritical coming from me, who's a little bit of a heftier set guy. I would say that calling Chris Chan average is not
Chris Chan's
fair.
40?
Yes.
Oh my god.
He's living with his 80-year-old mother. He would have been 20-something at the time. Yeah, he would have been 28 when he was trying to be an escort.
That 1982 just rang out, and I was like, oh my god.
this is an old-ass man.
This is beyond just a grown-ass man. This man's old.
The motherfuckers his age could have a mortgage.
The motherfuckers his age have paid off mortgages.
You're right. Yo, this dude could honestly be like a coworker with my grandfather if he applied himself. Like, realistically, this guy could have been like semi longtime friends with my grandfather. Anyway, height 5'10". So short kings rise, I guess.
Not really short king.
I'm joking because he's below 6 foot.
Yeah, that's just no man's wasteland.
Apparently he does not smoke. He drinks occasionally, and drug use is labeled as never used them, which later changed when he smoked weed with some teenagers.
He's definitely done more drugs.
Now here's something a little bit strange. He's got his availability down here, right? So available as and, so it'd be like different roles you could play, right? So, I like the fuck sticky note, Danny. Accommodating male, master/slave, model, masseuse, stripper/dancer, and escort. Now, obviously, Chris did.
When did he learn all of these skills?
Now, obviously, Chris did not receive any sort of responses to this.
Yeah.
However, years later, he would try again as a female prostitute named Stephanie Bustcakes, where he would when he was cross-dressing, and his female prostitute name was Stephanie Bustcakes.
Stephanie Bust Cakes?
Stephanie Bustcakes.
Is Bust Cakes one word?
Yes, that's the
two?
last name.
Okay. Okay.
He's got some very
So-
creative naming.
He's officially trans now?
The weird thing about it is that
The weird thing about it.
according to Twitter, Chris does go by she, her pronouns, but also still calls himself Chris Chan, and also Christine, and it's very confusing, and he's also had a sexual fetish for cross-dressing for decades at this point. So it's kinda up in the air. Geek, what are you doing?
Nothing.
You playing Guitar Hero?
No. Just keep talking, bro.
Okay. So that's a confusing thing that is like that kind of a hard thing to talk about when it comes to Chris. Oh, related as well to before. In the last episode when we were talking about, Chris only wanting to be with white women. And we sort of talked about how over time he sort of took that out of his requirements, right?
Mm-hmm.
He drew a pornographic drawing to prove that he wasn't racist.
Well, most of his characters are like pink and yellow.
Well, he drew a picture of himself having a four-way with one black woman, one mixed-race woman, and one white woman to prove that he wasn't racist. Just like he drew the picture of himself fisting Megan to prove that he was straight. Because Chris has this delusional fantasy that if he draws something, that it instantly becomes, real.
Like that one show, Chalk World.
Chris Chan does kind of believe that he lives in Chalk World, now that I think about it. And, like I mentioned before with Chris trying to be a prostitute himself, that was something that did end up coming back. About the picture that he drew. Again, it's horribly drawn like the rest of the comic, and I feel like this one is going to be harder to censor and show. I guess I'm just going to describe it. Oh,
Put it up here.
you know what? I will at least send you guys.
Censor it.
I'll send you guys the
Censor it.
picture to get a reaction.
It's my hand. Censor it. Just cut out my hand.
Not gonna do that.
Stand still.
Check the podcast channel and give me your reactions. What do you think about this glorious image?
He drew this?
Yes, he drew this himself to prove that he wasn't racist.
Oh, you could show this. Not like you'd have to censor it, but it'd be like 3-4 black bars.
Okay. But this shows Chris's delusion. He believes that if he can draw something, it becomes real. He believes that if he draws himself in some way doing an act, that it proves
Might just
anything.
have poor internet connection, so he needs something to jerk off to.
Well, you see, that's a funnier idea. But the problem is that he draws these things out of spite. Like, people online will call him racist, and then he'll be like, no, I'm not racist. Here's a picture of me
look,
having sex with a black woman.
This drawing says this is a drawing of Terry Crews telling me I'm not racist. So clearly, I'm not racist. Oh.
But the thing about it is Chris is basically on that level. Like, he is, like... It's... Okay, like, when he brought up this picture in one of his videos, he did not say, this drawing of me having sex with a black woman proves I'm not racist. He said, this picture proves. Like, he's acting as if, like, it's the Super Mario
The
Sunshine
photograph.
paintings, or no, fucking Super Mario 64 paintings, like it's real.
Or it's like anything he draws. He thinks he's such a good artist that people can't distinguish his drawings from real life.
Yo, I want to see...
Like, that's It's a case of hubris.
I want to see Chris Chan be like one of the like cop sketch artists where they'll describe the perp and Chris Chan will poorly draw them.
But draw them combined with Pikachu.
He'll draw their OC.
Yeah. I imagine this guy is kind of like a scaly, like he's a Komodo dragon.
All right.
Also Pikachu.
Here's the best I could do. Here he is fused with a Mewtwo.
It's so fucking hot. Here he is fused with a Mewtwo, and I'm fucking him from behind.
And just like the guy just has a black eye, and he's like, okay, but how is this supposed to help you know what he actually looks like?
3 hours. You're not getting paid for this.
So yeah, this was from like a few years ago too, just kind of showing like even before Chris Chan recently like got into like the dimensional merge and shit, his grasp on reality was tenuous as at best. would that be accurate to say?
1 second.
Dictionary.com.
Very weak or slight. No, I would disagree. Wait, what was the question again?
I said that his grasp on reality was tenuous at best.
His grasp on reality. Okay, yes, I agree.
Don't worry, folks. It's a very professional podcast. It's not like Danny is fully reclined back playing with his hair and he's researching the words that I'm saying.
I wasn't gonna lie and pretend like I knew what that word definitely meant. I had, you asked me a question and I had to verify that I was correct in the meaning of the word, and I was pretty spot on.
I respect the search for knowledge. I respect it.
Wait a minute. Alexa, who is Chris Chan?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Christian Guzman, born in 1993 in Texas.
No, not him.
And one of the founders
Nope, that's not him.
Energy drinks.
Alexa, stop.
Who is Christian Weston Chandler?
Alexa, who is Christian Weston Chandler?
Christian Weston Chandler is a male notable person and 38 years old. He was born on February 24th, 1982.
That's it.
That's all they'll say. No mention of Sonichu. No mention of the Mewtwo cum jar.
The vehicular manslaughter.
No vehicular
Current
manslaughter.
spouse Mewtwo.
Bro, that would tickle his nuts if Alexa said that.
Oh, absolutely. So, tangentially related to Chris being a prostitute, let's talk about another exchange that he had with a prostitute. So, there's a woman who's... I'm going to use the alias that Chris gave her, because he made a Facebook post talking about this. He lost his virginity to a prostitute that he called Mia Hamm, which happens to also be the name of, I think, a professional soccer player.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
A professional female soccer player of the same name, yeah. So, Chris finally completed his fuck quest, relieving him of his status as a virgin with rage.
Or as an incel.
He met her.
Does prostitution count?
If you
incels? Because
I think that's a moral gray area with incels, because I think some of them will count and some of it won't. For some of them, it is the quest to find someone willing to have sex with you.
Divided people. Huh?
They are, yeah. There's
continue.
A lot of moral grandstanding in the incel community.
Lose your virginity if you do anal?
That's worse than Pakistan and Israel. It depends if you're gay or not. If you're gay, then yes. If you're not, then no.
Mia Hamm was a boyfriend-free hooker who advertised herself on Backpages.com, which was a site that was seized by the feds in 2018 for ties to sex trafficking.
Yeah, Backpage is lit.
Chris paid her for an hour of sex in April of 2012, which cost him $150 of taxpayer money. meaning that our contributions to society ultimately went in part to Chris Chan being able to fuck this prostitute.
I don't live in Virginia.
Well, you know, money that ends up going
That's not how that works. That's not. My taxes don't go to Virginia.
Viewers watching from
That's
Virginia.
not how that works.
Viewers from Virginia.
You done mucked up.
I hope no one from Virginia watches this. In fact, I'm gonna go on record here and say that Game Night's taking a hard stance against Virginia.
An anti-Virginia podcast.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with taking a hard stance against vagina.
Or virgins.
Wait.
I'm cool with both of those things. Unless you live in Virginia as well.
We're fine
Then
with
you're an enemy of
virgins.
the state.
We're fine with vaginas. We're fine with virgins with vaginas. But virgins with vaginas in Virginia? No, thank you.
That's a fucking tongue twister, bro.
I'm shocked I got that on like first and a half try.
Vivian gave Viagra to virgins with vaginas living in Virginia.
Now, Chris chose to have sex with a prostitute despite the fact that he previously made statements that said that he wouldn't hire one because it would render the act of sex meaningless. That, you know, it would...
Fair. No love.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I guess he ultimately went back on his
that
word.
As soon as he found what Backpages was.
Now, I'm going to read you guys the series of Facebook posts that Chris made. Because, yes, he posted on Facebook admitting that he had sex with a prostitute in a state where prostitution is not legal. Just because Chris...
It's okay, he drew it, so it was a porno.
Well, no, this actually happens.
Because everything he draws is like a picture. So.
He'll just say that he drew it happening and he's just delusional.
Yeah.
I've been in a good mood lately because I finally had sex, so I'll divulge a couple of details. I mean, seriously, I literally awake, and the first thing that comes to mind is the occasion, and I'm smiling for hours. She was a very nice and sweet early 20s woman, and even better, she's half Cherokee.
Oh, wow.
We've hit it off from the shared characteristic of being good people and a very delightful and pleasant conversation. Alright, Chris, look. Sorry to interrupt your Facebook post here, but who is having a very good and delightful conversation with a prostitute?
Tanner just Kanye Christian.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yo, I'm gonna let you finish your shit, but I'm just gonna say...
I'm being dead ass. Like, that's wasting time, right? Like, the clock starts as soon as you enter the room.
That's like a 23-minute conversation. That's a $23 conversation, my guy.
He could have been coming.
Could be coming. Quiet.
We exchanged phone numbers, and we did it in her room. I put together a nice gift basket for her to show my appreciation.
Sick.
Aside from me and she, only one other very trusted friend who led us to our meeting knows the full story. And in the future, the other person who will learn of it...
Pimp?
What?
Was it the pimp?
Apparently he had a friend that showed him back pages, and I guess sort of, like, ran... contact with this prostitute first, and was like, hey, are you okay with fucking this really fat and smelly guy who hasn't showered in like 6 months? I'm gonna guess that whoever this person was, whether it be a troll or like some genuine friend of Chris's, ran some intel on this prostitute first to make sure that she was down with the autism.
Get up for coming down with the autism.
Autism's contagious, just in case you don't know.
Brother, get up for coming down with the autism.
You have to be around someone that's like dangerously autistic though for it to be contagious. Like if you're within 200 yards of Christian, you'll get it.
If you're in 200 yards of an elementary school, you're very likely. I'm just saying.
Any elementary school.
Sir, this is a school zone.
That's why evergreens be anywhere.
And in the future, the only person who will learn of it is my sweetheart-to-be. If you really want to know, you'd have to stay with me for a long while and more. So Chris is saying that he had sex with this prostitute, and he's going to divulge the full details to whoever he decides to marry, which I'm going to say, was that something you even want to know? Like, if I was gonna, like, marry somebody, right, guy or girl, and they were like, okay, here's the first time I had sex. I fucked the shit out of this prostitute. I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever.
Well, yeah, I was like, well, the thing is, when you're in a relationship, usually at some point in time, like, sexual history comes up as a conversation. Never once has any girl asked me for explicit details about any other time I've had sex with anybody else. So I don't think it's very normal for your future wife, your fiance, let's say, to be like, will you tell me how you lost your virginity just step by step?
I want to know what happened. I want to know what time it was, how the room smelled, what it felt like.
How did the room smell, he says?
When you woke up that morning to when you ejaculated.
What did you eat? Did you have breakfast? Did you have breakfast at McDonald's? What did you get? Was it a hash brown?
Did it affect your cum output?
Affect your cum output?
What was your cum input to output?
Ratio.
Look, okay, I'm gonna need those cum data graphs on my desk by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, Chris, or else you're fired.
You're fired, bro. You're kicked off of Wattpad.
Oh, and Chris made a follow-up post to this where he said, "Oh, I forgot to mention, she really enjoyed my dick. It was so big and good that it put the last dude she was with to shame." Her words.
That's sick. What do you think? It's a shame we'll never get to see Christian's dick in person.
I've seen it out of person. I've seen pictures.
That's what I said in person.
Well,
because it doesn't exist anymore. It's a thing. It's a thing of myth.
Well, I mean, just because it's small, it still exists. He hasn't, like, gotten a surgery.
I'm convinced he's tucked it inside of himself.
Yes, Chris does have a small dick, despite what the hooker will supposedly tell you via his Facebook post. I've seen photographs of Christian's penis. It is small and bent to the left.
Damn, that sucks.
Bent to the left.
If you have a small dick, you really don't want any curvature to it, do you?
He's on that left curve, gang. He's on that Y equals MX. Fucking.
Honestly, wait. My dick doesn't really curve. If your dick, I'm gonna take a hard stance here. If your dick turns left, you're a pedophile.
Well, we'll see how much Chris acts up in the next couple of weeks. We may need to make an update.
May need to read.
When the pedos come a knocking.
Some DMs.
And there was a text document where Chris relayed the exact details of this meeting, which I do have an excerpt from, depending on how vividly you want to hear this.
Read the excerpt.
Her pelvic thrusts were amazing. Her pussy was tight, even after pushing 2 daughters out of there years ago. And I supported her thrust with my hands on her knees, weaving back and forth. I also gave her breasts a good thrusting.
Okay, wait.
I have no idea what position they're in. This makes no sense.
Hands on knees, weaving back and forth.
She had his feet on his chest. He was doing that.
And then also thrusting her breast, which I assume means tit fucking.
I'm gonna guess.
So what's his dick? Okay, so here's what I think was happening, right? Christian's dick is so big that it went through her uterus, out of her belly button, because she's had 2 kids.
Right.
So her belly button's a little open, I would imagine. So it just burst right through there, and then in between her tits.
I was gonna imagine that he was getting like a foot job, and also.
That would make sense, but also she was a midget.
He didn't really say what she looked like other than she was in her 20s. She might have been a midget.
He didn't specifically say she wasn't a midget.
I felt her front pelvic bone, which really made the top of the game. She came and I came, but on my coming it was only half felt. and the semen that was mostly outside, but a smidge on the outside of the condom confirmed it. So Chris may have gotten some of his nut inside of this prostitute.
Yeah.
After their second meeting, which I believe is what he was describing there, she broke up contact with him.
I just want to put a little PSA out there. If you get a little nut inside of a pussy, you're not going to get anybody pregnant. It's the propulsion you have to avoid. You have to shoot. If the nut doesn't shoot, no baby's coming out the coop. That's what I always say.
Well, I want to say that hopefully he didn't. However, she also stopped talking to him after the second time that they were together.
Yeah, I mean, I assume she probably didn't have a kid. I mean, she might have had a kid. I don't think she had Chris's kid.
I hope she didn't. And apparently someone that used to be a Chris Chan troll named Alec Benson Leary, he apparently is, like, kind of close to Chris. Like, he used to be a troll and then actually, like, kind of got close to him, and now they're kind of, like, neutral with each other. He posted on Kiwi Farms and was like, yeah, guys, don't believe too much of what Chris Chan said. Imagine your least interesting sexual experience, and and Chris's is 1/10 as interesting as that. He laid down, the hooker got on top of him and rode him for a bit, and then Chris decided his life was better than it was the previous day. The end.
Sounds about what losing your virginity's like.
Yeah.
You lay down, the hooker rides you for a little bit, and then you decide that life's a little bit better.
I don't know if the hooker is a universal part, but
I mean, happened to me, happened to Chris.
Yeah, the entirety of your knowledge is what happened to you and what happened to Chris Chan.
No, I'm saying, even if you and Danny disagree, that's still 50%. That's pretty good.
Been in quarantine for so long, you forgot the rest of the world existed. You're just going off of, like, the 4 people that are involved in this conversation.
I believe everybody else that isn't directly in contact with me is non-existent. You only exist while you're in direct contact with me. So no one else.
You have no person permanence.
Yeah. No person,
I only have
location
these 2.
permanence.
I only have those 2.
Bring me the one on the left in Seattle.
Those are both sick, though.
Yeah.
Wait, that one?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of bent, though.
It's okay.
See that?
That's okay.
But other than that, it's in good shape. Do you need Ultimate Dragon?
Yeah, sure. Tanner, keep talking.
Okay. So you guys just Yu-Gi-Oh trading? Just mid-podcast? Okay.
Well, I don't really use these Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so I'm more of Yu-Gi-Oh giving.
Well, I'll give you something and you can use it as a fucking memorabilia of me.
Okay, what do you guys want to hear about Chris Chan's clitoris?
Yes, of course. What kind of question is that? Of course I want to hear what Christian's clitoris.
Do you need Sacred Phoenix of Nemesis?
Yeah, I'll take any shiny card you don't want.
So Chris got a piercing on his taint.
Doomfire?
Let Tanner talk, Danny.
Oh, sorry.
So Chris got a piercing on his taint.
What's a taint for the viewers that don't know?
Alright, so for the viewers at home, just imagine the small gap basically between, like, your asshole and your balls. Essentially.
Yeah.
And he just got a piercing right in that little clean patch.
That not so clean patch.
Well, I mean, you know. There's not an ass attached to it and there's not balls attached to it. It's right in the middle. That's clean skin, I suppose. Ready for the piercing.
Ready.
Apparently Chris got this as a fair substitute for a clitoris, indicating that Chris believes that the clitoris is located on a woman's taint. It seems that Chris's knowledge of female anatomy
It's not.
Seems that his knowledge of female anatomy hasn't noticeably improved since he, encountered that prostitute.
No, prove to me it's not right. I have full belief.
So, essentially, Chris paid, like, Yeah. So, Chris got this pierced the first time. And, a lot of piercings will end up rejecting themselves, which is, which sucks.
Especially piercings that aren't, like, normal.
Yeah.
Like dermals.
But this piercing rejected itself, so he went back and he got it re-pierced, like, immediately instead of, like, letting it heal. So he went to, like, a different jeweler and got another piercing to get put into it, spending, like, $200 on this.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of never healed. And then it just became an open wound. Yes, Danny?
I think it's time that I show you guys my taint piercing. Do you see it?
I don't know, play your pants.
Danny, you're wearing shorts.
Danny's gonna be just like his hero Chris Chan, who lives in the Pokemon world and is an interdimensional god, and is married to Mewtwo and has a taint piercing.
You guys see that magic trick? Yeah.
Ooh,
Whoa.
got him.
It's wild.
You guys want to see a magic trick?
No. Danny gonna show his ass.
Oh god, he's just getting a lightsaber. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
So
Don't ever stop talking.
okay, well, Chris ended up getting this, and it kind of just never healed. And then he just realized, like, oh, I can use this as a pseudo vagina. And
Yeah.
yes, there are photos of this. I cannot even censor them and show them to you. They are disgusting,
yeah,
and I don't want them anywhere near my fucking computer. They're out there on the internet.
Family, and I was like, oh, I appreciate that. But you said computers. So.
I don't want them anywhere near my family, my friends, anyone. I want these images scrubbed off of the internet. And I want pictures of Spider-Man! He's
What the fuck? Stop that, please.
Come on, Danny. You could have muted your mic before you did that. Fucking, he used a can of compressed air on a goddamn fidget spinner. So, Chris Chan basically took the open wound. He took the open wound that was created due to 2 failed piercings on his taint and tried to turn it into a fake vagina by eventually cutting it open with a knife.
Bro, that had to hurt so bad.
That had to hurt so fucking bad.
Like, I can't even, like, I literally can't imagine the pain. I don't know how he didn't just, like, fucking pass the fuck out.
Well, you have to think, Chris Chan lives a very painful existence anyway. He's poor.
But not physically.
Well, think about it. He's poor, he's fat, probably has a lot of health issues. Not particularly the most active guy. Even just the act of, like, breathing and living, it must be hell to this individual. Like, fucking... Probably...
Yeah, but that has to be so much different than just, like, literally stabbing yourself.
When... It's disgusting. I guess when you want to make
Well, I guess my point that I'm trying to get at is I don't think he did it all at once, right? It had to have been a thing he, like, worked on.
Well, I think that he did all of the slicing, like, in one move.
I can't now look at those pictures of Christiana in the background of Geek's green screen and not picture a ripped taint.
Well, you have to. Those are pre-taint rip.
I got you, fam. Keep talking.
Those are pre-taint rip photos, which, yeah, because this was in July of 2016. This is getting more into, like, recent Chris Chan stuff, which luckily I also have some of that in the pipeline. Like, I've got some of Chris's more recent tweets, because, Chris Chan has recently gone crazy, like I explained in the last episode, and I'll just reiterate it again. Chris Chan has gotten involved with some very strange people that, like, people that follow Chris are calling the idea guys, which are basically like people that are both emotionally and financially enabling Chris, so that, and sort of buying into his fantasies that he's like an interdimensional god that is aware of a dimensional merge between the real life dimension and the fictional dimension that is going to soon happen, and we will know is complete when Lisa Simpson is the president of the United States.
That's post taint rip?
Yeah, that's a post taint rip, Chris.
What the fuck happened?
Dyed his hair, grew it out real long. His house burned down.
Give him a kiss, geek.
That'd be like one of the only ones he's ever gotten. Shit. But, yeah, the dimensional merge basically is Chris Chan.
My ass, Chris Chan.
is Chris Chan's newest fantasy, basically, and is also intertwined with Chris believing that, like, all of these fictional things that he has imagined for so long are real. So, like, for example, when he was young, he was really into anime, like a lot of us were, and so whenever he'd play the Pokemon games, he would always get a Blaziken named Inuyasha.
That's a good name.
It is a good name, but he now has a Blaziken named Inuyasha in Pokemon Go, and also posts pictures, like, the Pokemon Go augmented reality thing, like, to Twitter, acting as if Blaziken is actually there.
Just like he does that with Mewtwo too, though.
Yes,
right?
Like this picture where you can see Blaziken just standing in Chris's fucking super messy room. I'll post it in the podcast channel so that way you guys can see kind of just this living situation. He posted that picture with the caption, "How does a Pokeball compare in size with Inuyasha? How decent it is to get him into one of those. Much as well or less me, Sonichu." Which this is also during an event that was happening on Chris's Twitter, actually still happening on Chris's Twitter, this is only from a couple days ago, where Chris is role-playing as Sonichu, saying that Sonichu has taken over his Twitter account, and is like saying that Sonichu has taken over his physical body, and is tweeting in place of Chris Chan.
He's taken over his physical body, so Chris is now Sonichu.
Chris is currently not occupying his body. His soul has entered dimension C197 and is living with Magic-chan right now. Essentially, his soul and fucking Sonichu's soul have switched bodies for the time being. One of the last few tweets that Chris made that was like Chris in his body was in response to the new My Little Pony show, which, if you don't know, Chris was also a brony back in the day, and is very upset that My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, got a Teen Titans Go style reboot, where it's kind of a simpler art style and it's like more comedy based.
Cheaper to make.
Also cheaper to make, called Go Pony. And he posted this picture to his Twitter. This is one of the last few tweets made in which it was Chris Chan in Chris's body. Oh, my Chris Chan.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Do you see the picture?
Oh, I see it.
That isn't Photoshop. That is a genuine facial reaction that this individual is able to make. I'm impressed. Doesn't that look faked?
Oh my god. How do you do that?
That's like very dramatic.
How do you do that shit?
You try your best to recreate it. Oh, Danny, that's pretty good.
My mouth doesn't...
It doesn't stretch that far down?
My best.
Geek, you look more like Nosferatu when you're trying to imitate that face.
This is the thumbnail. Me and Geek, and then his photo in the middle.
there was a super long thread that he made where he was like just rambling on about the dimensional merge and trolls and shit like that as Sonichu. This was June 2nd of this year. Hey everyone.
Do you think he was just like, I'm about to go crazy, time to blame this on Sonichu?
Well, that's the weird thing. I feel like Chris may genuinely have like a multiple personality disorder. Like if we're trying to legitimately like diagnose Chris Chan with some sort of mental disorder.
We're not.
What?
We're not.
Like I'm obviously not like certified to. I'm just saying if I'm gonna throw any ideas at the wall as to what could be up.
I think he's a faker. Lay's baked eater.
I want to believe that, but Chris has shown such a consistent pattern of behavior of like thinking that things that he writes down or draws is real, that it somehow has some doubling down or affirmation that what he believes is reality. He draws pictures of him having sex with girls so that way he can say, I'm not gay, here's a picture of me having sex with a woman. He tweets as Sonichu so that way he can affirm this bizarre fantasy he has that reality and fiction will soon collide. I believe that he may legitimately be schizophrenic if he does not have like actual multiple personality disorder and believe that his fictional characters can channel into him. You know what I mean?
I attest.
Johnny attests.
Whip crack.
What?
The fucking whip crack sound effect in that show.
Oh, yeah.
Like whenever anything would move, it was psh,
Yeah.
psh, psh.
Yeah.
Fucking hated that show.
Oh, fuck off.
Kinda sucked. Hey,
Compared to what?
just compared to what else was on, I'd rather watch anything else on Cartoon Network. Anyway, Sonichu tweeted, Hey everyone, Sonichu, still here. A fated moment is upon us, as Mama, referring to Chris, and everyone else had foreseen and experienced before. Pretty much a let you know for now. But over the past couple of decades, Mama Chris Chan has been trolled, bullied, blackmailed, deceived, and all that. No freaking surprises, but in her developing abilities, especially further developed over the past few years, she learned from seeing into everyone's intentions, for good, bad, or indifferent, and everything else from throughout the farthest reaches of dimension, space, and all time, and then it just keeps going, and it's just rambling like that, talking about how Chris Chan can use his powers to sense other people's intentions and emotions.
That's crazy, but he can't, like, do anything about world hunger.
You know? It's...
What about, like, sex trafficking?
If Chris is so powerful, and, like, this is something that has always been, like, latent within him, right? Like, I feel like there's been some bad shit that Chris Chan really could have stopped.
Also, how come he didn't kill that game's store owner if he's, like, omnipowerful? Why did he try to use a car to run him over? Can't he just, like, smite him?
Well, you see, Chris's powers function like the mob. He's got to do, like, a little display as a warning and see if he keeps up his behavior and get...
I thought that's what the macing the guy was for.
No, that was a GameStop employee. Like, actual GameStop.
I thought that's what his mom trying to hit him was for. Then why'd he also try to hit him with the car?
The Game Place guy kicked Chris out of the store for kicking those kids off of, like, the GameCube or whatever.
Yeah.
Chris got mad at the guy, and then they saw him, like, outside of the store one day, like, in the road. Then fucking Chris had his mom try to hit him, and then he got in his car.
Tried to hit him.
And
That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand making your mom try to hit him. That's pretty godlike. But then why do you try to hit him with a car?
Because it didn't work the first time, I guess. Look, Chris is a very weird person. They're constantly on Twitter begging for money, yet they make all of their tweets from an iPad. Which, you know... And also... I'm just... If you can afford...
Twitter for iPad.
No, I would like to say every poor person I know owns an iPad.
I'm poor. I don't own an iPad, but I also don't make too many poor financial decisions. So,
Bro, iPads are the dumbest thing you can buy.
Truthfully, yes.
Like, if you show me that you have an iPad, I'll be like...
Alright, wait.
What?
iPad's the dumbest thing to buy if you're not buying it for a child.
Why would you buy an iPad for a child?
Because people
They
hate
have
their
lots
kids and
of-
don't want to raise them.
Children's games on iPads.
Yeah, okay, but
So?
It's like
just
the
play
modern
with
day.
your kids.
It's like the modern day Leapfrog.
Just get them a
No,
Leapfrog.
fucking yeah. I was like, I'm sure Leapfrog's still doing shit.
No, there's an app for that now.
No,
The
fuck
Leapfrog app.
Fuck that, bro. My kids can play outside and with cardboard boxes.
That's right. Reject modernity. Embrace tradition. Yeah, Chris is just currently in this very weird state right now. Everything that Chris is now is kind of an antithesis to everything he was even a few years ago. He used to be very homophobic. He used to be very racist, and has kind of turned back on that. I don't know if he genuinely means it, or if it's just because...
To be fair, that was like 10 years ago.
Well, I mean...
And didn't he have the whole thing that you talked about last time where he's like, a lot of it was like his dad? And so after his dad died, he...
That is also legitimately a part of it. I'm just saying it is a very interesting case where it is like, you know... again, he is one of the most heavily documented people in history. You can kind of see the turnaround of him being a very domesticated, stay-at-home, racist, homophobic man-child to now thinking that he is this larger-than-life internet personality that deserves to be held up financially by his fans, that he can send to go do his bidding. Like that Go Pony show I was talking about that he posted a picture of himself. He was so mad about that show that he was trying to start an online campaign to get it canceled and get specifically 5 more seasons of the old My Little Pony show renewed.
They're like, the writers don't want to make it anymore. I don't know.
Like, it got an ending. What else do you want?
We don't want to make this fucking show.
Fucking Chris Chan just wants My Little Pony Boruto, where there's like a younger pony with
Come on.
with a very derivative name.
Apple glitter.
Blylight Barkle.
They're bonies. My little ponies.
It's just the bee emoji.
The red bee. My little bonies.
Friendship is basic.
Friendship is batshit, fam.
Ah.
I heard the ponies are just wearing Timbs. Yankees with no brim.
Look at this dude.
Look at this dude.
Pony. Applejacks. What are you doing? I'm selling crack. Buy like Barkle.
But by the way, I wanna tell the viewers this. We tried to get Chris on the show.
But unfortunately, Sonichu is in his body right now, so I don't think he's answering business emails.
I don't believe that Chris Chan is answering emails or Twitter DMs, because I did do both from the official GameNight LLC Twitter account. Go ahead and follow that if you want to. Offered to pay for a paid appearance on the show, because, you know, we only do like an hour-long episode. I would say $100 for an hour-long podcast is a very fair offer.
Mm-hmm.
That's $100 an hour. Great.
If anybody can get in contact with Chris, we'll pay you $50.
Yeah.
If anybody can get in contact and make him come on the podcast.
We may have said a lot of negative things about Chris Chang, you know, going over their history, but legitimately, a chance to sit down and talk with them and figure out what is, you know, what they think about the world, you know, the journey from their perspective. I think that could be a very good thing for the internet to hear, because a lot of this is very kind of one-sided. It is from the perspective of people that Chris knew that have recounted their stories on the internet and just information that he has levied to other people that has then been funneled onto, you know, the quickie and other things, like trolls that have gotten close to him, or like ex-girlfriends of his, or like ex-gal pals that have discovered this online community and then have been like, yeah, Chris is kind of a piece piece of shit. Here's all of the bad things he did and said. Yeah, a lot of it.
Questions
What?
for Sonichu?
A lot of it is, from that perspective. And, despite how active Chris Chan is on the internet, they try not to dwell on a lot of the past stuff. Even in, the comic, previously introduced characters that were relevant to his real life have since been kind of scrapped, written out of the story, left in the dust, per se.
Exactly, a super coherent piece of literature.
It really isn't. It's I guess it's kind of a shitty comparison to make because it's literally a free webcomic available online that was being drawn by
And it's there's no there's plots sometimes, but there's not it will just it'll have a series going on, and then he'll go on hiatus without finishing an arc, and then he'll come back and just start a new one. It's not it's super well comprised piece of work.
I'm gonna say it had to its credit, its storytelling is very similar to the original Pokemon anime. Sometimes things would just happen, they'd go on a little side quest that would completely divert from the story, and then they would just never talk about what just happened again. In that respect, very close adaptation to one of his favorite works, where it just completely ignores what came before it. Would you say that that's accurate?
Can you give me an example?
There's just episodes in the original Pokemon anime where it would just they would just go help this person out, and it wouldn't be related to Ash's quest to get a gym badge or anything. Just side quest fillery episodes.
Well, that's not what Ash's quest is.
Well, I mean, to catch them all.
Yeah, it was Ash's quest by Oak is to learn about Pokemon. That is his goal, and that is the quest he was given and sat out on. His personal objective is to become a Pokemon master.
Okay.
And one of the ways to do that is to challenge the gyms. But that's what they kind of saved themselves in Pokemon with, is it's an objectiveless show. His idea is he just needs to travel and learn about Pokemon.
Well, I mean, Chris Chan is kind of a Pokemon master. He literally created a new Pokemon, a Sonichu. Which I don't know. I don't know what the lore explanation to Chris Chan being the parent of Sonichu is at this point.
Oh, shit. That's pretty weird.
Because he literally says that he is used to be the father, but I guess now the mother of Sonichu, and I'm just wondering, did Chris Chan fuck an already existing Sonic and Pikachu fusion, or does
Chris Chan have Sonichu DNA?
That's what
either Pikachu or Sonic DNA?
I believe that's what the idea guys proposited to Chris, is that he did have latent Sonichu DNA, or at least his dad did, who passed it on to him. And then Chris Chan ended up having a child with an undisclosed other individual, and then that child ended up being the full-blooded Sonichu.
Well, it couldn't have been a sexual reproduction, right?
He could have fucked a Ditto, I guess. I don't know.
Well, because he described losing his virginity later on.
Well,
so it could have been a sexual encounter.
Well, Chris Chan is also an interdimensional god, and I would assume that they have the power to time travel. So it could have been like a thing where Sonichu was created prior to Chris Chan losing his virginity through sex, and just placed at an earlier point in time.
The second Chris Chan has sex in a time period, regardless if it's him from that time period, he still had sex on that date, correct? So even if your future self, say you were a virgin right now and your future self came back in time and had sex with somebody today, you would no longer be a virgin because in all technicality, you have had sex today. And my reasoning behind that is if future you got someone pregnant today coming back in time and they tested your DNA for that baby, or if they obviously obviously I'm assuming future you isn't a rapist, but like if they rape kitted a girl and like your DNA was in there, it wouldn't matter if it was you from the future. It'd still be your DNA. And so
you raise a
DNA
compelling point.
DNA beats time.
Everyone in the comments, give us your theories. How was Chris Chan created without sex using Chris Chan's DNA? Was it like a Mewtwo in the lab scenario where they like they took
I think one day he like pulled an ingrown toenail and just like threw it under his bed, and then it first crawled over. It had like fungus on it, so it was kind of alive. And it like crawled over to a Pokemon card and picked up a Pikachu card. So then it crawled over to a Sonic plushie, and it used them mended together using the fungus. The fungus grew and attached, and like kind of like symbiotes, like Spider-Man, and pulled it all together, and then it made Sonichu with a mixture of Sonic DNA, Chris DNA, and Pikachu DNA. Because if it was just Sonic and Pikachu DNA, then he could get sued.
That is a theory that works. I would also like to believe that since it is like specifically his like DNA, I'd imagine that it would be like, biological. Maybe like some of the semen from one of his blow-up dolls gained sentience.
Maybe that's where they dragged the rest of the ingredients to like slumber and grow. And then
There's a cocoon.
The blow-up doll gave birth. Because it did come out of the blow-up doll's vagina.
God, Chris Chan is so fucking weird. Danny, this is like part of your first involvement with Chris Chan. I gave you the rundown, about the episode last week. What are your opinions on Chris Chan? I kind of asked Geek this before. What do you think about this individual? You think that they're straight up crazy? Do you think that they're just fucking with people? What is your approximation?
He is definitely one of the type of people that, in my opinion, shouldn't be operating a motor vehicle.
I
mean, he did attempt vehicle manslaughter. I get it.
I mean, yeah, no, I agree. It's just that's never been. I've never heard someone say that as the first takeaway from Christian.
Yeah, I think he
shouldn't be driving. You're right.
Probably shouldn't be doing a lot of things, to be honest with you.
Here's another thing. Do you think that Chris could handle a job?
Yes.
No. Not in 2020.
I think they could at least be a Walmart greeter.
I don't know. Every time I go to a Walmart, I make fun of the greeters.
What?
I said every time I go into a Walmart, I make fun of the greeters.
It keeps cutting out for me.
Every time I go into a Walmart,
yeah,
I make fun of the greeters.
Oh. I mean, in that respect, Chris is stand up for the job. Can you imagine if you walked into a Walmart, right, and you saw Chris Chan with the classic red shirt with the stripes on it, and they're wearing the Sonichu medallion, and they've got the Walmart apron and the name tag over it?
Oh, that'd be the best day of my life.
That's on the tier of meeting a celebrity. Like that's like equivalent to meeting Robert Downey Jr. Honestly,
I think I'd be more excited to meet Chris Chan than most like A-list celebrities you could name off. Like I don't. What the fuck am I realistically gonna say to Robert Downey Jr.? Hey, Iron Man was pretty cool, bro. You haven't really done anything else in 10 years, so I guess that's it.
Hey, Dr. Dolittle.
That wasn't good.
He still did it.
Yeah.
He needs to atone for his crimes.
I don't think he'd want me to bring that up either. As much as I don't want to bring it up, he doesn't want me to bring it up.
I would be more excited to meet Chris Chan than most celebrities as well, simply because, like, at least, like, I could get something out of that. Like, people keep up with Chris's whereabouts. If I posted a picture of me and Chris Chan together somewhere out in public, someone on the Quickie would be like, noted, on this day, Chris met with this person, and then it would be a link to my Twitter. Met with Sticky Cum in a Walmart bathroom in Ruckersville, Virginia.
In Ruckersville, Virginia.
Why does Ruckersville, Virginia sound like somewhere where they would like film a Jackass episode? Like, I feel like they would go there to cause some hijinks just because it's in the middle of nowhere.
It sounds like a made-up place.
I'm also that.
Like from Cars. I can see that being in Cars. Do you guys like Cars? Not the
movie.
The movie.
The movie with Owen Wilson. Wow. Seen it?
Yes, Owen Wilson and.
The first one was okay. The second one was dog shit, and I never watched the third one.
Or the fourth one.
There was a fourth one?
Absolutely.
Fourth one?
Absolutely.
I don't believe you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you're right, fam.
There is no Cars 4. There's only a third one.
No, there's a fourth one.
I just Googled it.
Danny's a liar.
Everyone look closely. I can see a bead of sweat dripping down Denny's neck. I can see his stress vein popping up in his neck. He knows he just got caught in a lie.
He knows. The polygraphs.
Going off the fucking charts.
See, here it is. Look.
Oh, no. You're right. I've never seen Cars 3, though.
Thinking of
I'm
Shrek 4.
thinking of Toy Story.
Shrek 4 is real.
I know Shrek 4 is real. Toy Story 4 is also real.
Forever After.
Give us Shrek 5, DreamWorks. Okay.
There is 5 Shrek movies.
Oh yeah, counting the Christmas one. Right?
I think there's also a Halloween one.
Oh yeah, fuck. I guess technically 6 Shrek movies?
There's a lot of Shrek movies.
Okay, well this has completely derailed away from Chris Chan, and we're about that time, so I guess let's get our final thoughts out there. Chris Chan, very interesting online individual. I'm glad that they have existed on the internet, and I do wish them the best. I do hope that things legitimately do improve for Chris Chan. They're very interesting, and I'm glad that their saga has been kind of recorded, because it kind of gives an insight to what can happen if someone just kind of has, unvetted access to the internet, and potentially can't handle it.
Yeah. If I give a piece of advice to Chris, I'd say, probably stop posting things on the internet. Probably just get a job. That's probably the best course of action. Eventually you're gonna go off the deep end and say or do something, and you're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt, and you're going to end up in a jail cell. I think the violence is completely unwarranted and unacceptable, and
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah. Stop being such a bitch, kinda, but like in a nice way.
Yeah. I think that legitimately for some business advice, Chris, lean into your popularity. Take advantage of the fact that your name does have some kind of clout on the internet. Start a podcast. You have at least a decent enough internet connection to be on Twitter. Talk about your feelings. Get things out there. Start consistently uploading. Make that part of your Patreon reward tiers that you get like a week early access to podcast episodes. Something. If anything, that's a way to earn an income. You know what I mean? That is at least something that also alleviates the stress of having to be out in public, especially during these trying times. I think that's something that could be sustainable for Chris Chan.
Possibly. I don't know. I think most of his audience aren't there to support him.
I understand that, but maybe he could show, their human side a bit.
I don't know. I think Chris is someone that's never going to be able to set his own schedule. I think he's someone that needs some consistency and structure in his life. So I don't think he's the type of person that should be his own boss.
It's fair.
I think he should probably get some structured work. His mom is not going to be around forever. In fact, sooner than later he's going to be living alone for the first time in his life, and he really needs to get some shit together, or he's going to be a statistic, in my opinion.
That's very fair.
Yep.
And I mean, like, as much as I want to encourage creativity, I want what's best for people. And if you can't handle having zero responsibilities and not being able to upload, oh boy, you are not good at time management.
Fair enough. Well, I guess that we can put a bow on this episode and kind of tell the audience that they should be prepared. The next few podcast episodes should be IRL ones.
Podcast episodes.
We got a lot planned for Seattle. We're gonna try to have some good content coming down the pipeline.
Get off your phone for the outro.
We've got some good content that we've got planned coming out of the pipeline. Got this, a lot of things to be recorded in Seattle. Going to have a lot of the boys together. Going to try to get us all in on some podcast episodes.
I guess
most of us.
I guess this is kind of a good time to announce it. Due to some unfortunate circumstances, Jet won't be able to join us in the trip to Seattle. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because I know for the last couple of months we've all been hyping this up, and I just didn't want obviously there's no drama or anything like that, and that's why I wanted to say that now, so the videos don't come out and everybody's like, what the fuck. But just due to some personal stuff in his life that obviously it's up to him how much he wants to reveal to the internet.
Of course.
I don't really feel like that's my place to, but he's unfortunately not able to join us.
Yeah, it is completely reasonable that he is, staying home. He's got things going on, which again, not going to get into, but yeah, it will be most of us. We'll have a good assembly of most of the boys.
And we also have some special recruit coming in, so some reinforcements, if you will. So don't worry, there'll be plenty of the boys. But yeah, get ready for a fucking bunch of good content.
Yeah.
A bunch of good content. But we are going to go ahead and wrap it up for the last time for a long time over video. And the next time we will see you,
I will be sitting on Geek's lap.
Not that. We will be in a boardroom in Seattle. Have a good rest of your night, guys. We are out of here. And of course, thanks again for watching. Also, big shout out to Rogue Energy, code GameNight for 10% off any of their products. All of that money goes right back into the channel.
We just bought a shit ton of equipment, so
yeah, we did. So that makes trips like this and stuff possible. So
get yourself a shaker, get yourself a starter pack, get yourself some,
Thank you to everybody who has used the code, and thank you to everybody who uses the code in the future. It really means a lot. But we're going to get out of here. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.